Hi guys, the Frugal Gal here, and by the title you might think it's clickbait, but it's not. I don't know if anybody noticed that I haven't been around for a while. I haven't done videos, and I might be late on sending out some jewelry. I've been going through some stuff, and I had a heart attack. That's one. It was about the second week of December, I believe I had this heart attack. I didn't tell anybody about it. Yeah, I know. That's bad. I was down here in my, I live in a travel trailer, as most of you know, and it was late at night, and my heart attack, I'm just going to explain to you how mine feels, so maybe this will help somebody. I'm sure everybody's feels different. Mine started with pain from shoulder to shoulder, spreading across my chest and my back. It was not like an elephant, like they say, sitting on my chest. It wasn't like that. It was like, and it was here to here and in the back from there to there. And it was, it felt as if someone was crushing my sternum, my breastbones, and my ribs. It just felt like it was pushing both ways on my bones. And then it moved up my neck and felt like my wind was being cut off, and then settled in my jaw exactly right here. And it was very much shortness of breath. I could only breathe like this. Lasted quite a long time. And then after that, I didn't get a hold of my mom, which she's mad about that, but I just didn't want to worry her. And I thought, well, if I die, I die. Hope I'm right with God. And I went and laid down. She found out, I told her about 3 or 4 days later. And I didn't really know if I'd had a heart attack. I just assumed I had. And then from a week out of that, I was going to go see my doctor. I know this happened at the beginning of December in the first 2 weeks, because I had a doctor's appointment to see my main doctor December 20th. So I was going to talk to him about it and tell him what happened. But before that time, my blood pressure, in between me going to see him on the 20th and having the heart attack, my blood pressure was running 200 and something over 100 and something, which is very high. And I called I was getting ready to go to the doctor's like the next day, and they canceled my doctor's appointment for some reason. So I called and I said, look, you're going to have to give me blood pressure medication. You've been wanting to give it to me. I usually have high blood pressure when I go to the doctor, but I thought it was just nerves because of the anxiety and depression I have. And usually it runs fine at home. And I told them what was going on, and I was having angina, I said, well, you need to go to the ER if you're having angina. I said, angina attacks. I said, I'm not having it right now. So they prescribed me blood pressure medication. I started taking it. I finally went and saw him in January, and when I rescheduled my appointment to the beginning of January, he took all the information. I have a horrendous family history on my dad's side of heart disease. My dad had his first heart attack at 32 and open heart surgery with 5 bypasses at 41, with a lot of heart attacks in between. All his brothers and sisters either had heart surgery in some form or heart attacks. Both his parents had heart attacks. So I knew that I had that family history, and I knew it would eventually hit me one day. I'm also diabetic, so that is a greater chance of that too. I have type 2 diabetes. So when I saw my doctor, he really didn't say anything about it. And I said, look, I know I have this horrendous family history. I have high cholesterol. I have high bad cholesterol, which is LDL cholesterol. You have HDL and LDL, which is the good HDL. The bad LDL is what causes the plaque in your arteries, which causes, your arteries get clogged. Triglycerides, my triglycerides should be under 200. They range anywhere from in the 200s to 1200. I won't take statins, which lower your cholesterol, because my dad didn't. It ruined his joints, and my joints are already messed up. So I said, what else can we do besides going to get a cardiac cath? Or maybe I need one, He said, well, there's a test you can take, and it's called a cardiac calcium test, which is basically you go through a CAT scan, and they CAT scan your chest, and you get a score. My score came back, and at first when I read it, I thought it was a good score. It ended up being a bad score. I was in the 98th percentile for my age group and being a woman, which meant there was only 2% of the people that would have worse scores than I did. So, yeah, bad. So he recommended a cardiologist. Went to the cardiologist. Cardiologist talks to me, took my family history, said, well, let's try, because they weren't going to give me a stress test, which you can get a stress test, but you're on a treadmill during the stress test hooked up to, leads on your chest, because I have polyneuropathy and I'm numb in my feet, so I would fall probably. They can also give you what's called a chemical stress test, which is they inject you with the medication that would make your heart start working faster in order to see how you handle it. So the cardiologist said, well, let's do a chemical stress test. But even before I got home from that doctor's appointment, he had left and they took an EKG. He left a voicemail on our answering machine saying, I've looked at your family history, and we're going to skip the stress test, and we're going to go straight to a cardiac cath. Okay. Because my EKG, I went and looked at it, and it showed up that there was something going on. My heart wasn't acting right. So they decided to do a cardiac cath, which is usually a catheterization through your veins in your groin, or they can do it in your wrist. If you see that bruise right there, and those two little incisions. Okay? They did it in my wrist. They were able to do it. They weren't in there even like 10 minutes. My mom said maybe 15. And he came out, and you have 3 main arteries in your chambers that go off your heart. And all 3 were clogged. One was 100% clogged. One was 95%, and the other was 95%. Plus there was damage to my heart. They went and did a sonogram the same day while I was at the hospital. And I had damage to my heart where I've definitely had a heart attack. So that's when I knew I definitely had a heart attack. So he's like, I got to recommend you to go to another cardiologist who's a surgeon, because it looks like you're going to have heart bypass surgery. Triple or quadruple. They didn't know right then. So I went today to the cardiologist surgeon, and he was very nice man, explained it very well to me, showed me my pictures of my heart for the cardiac cath, which is also known as an angiogram. Showed me where my blockage were. My 100% blockage has grown new offshoot veins to try to get blood to the heart, but they're not working really well. Did have a heart attack. There's a heart attack called a widowmaker. I know all this stuff because I grew up with my dad having a bad heart, so I sat in the hospital with my mom a lot, so I know a lot about heart disease. A widowmaker is just what it says. You have it, and a man has it, and the wife becomes a widow, or you have a widowmaker, which I guess should be a widower maker. Anyway, you die. My heart attack was right below a widowmaker. Part of my heart is they don't know how damaged it is from the heart attack until they get in there and look at it. So he wants to do a quadruple bypass. This is 4. I have 1 on the back side of my heart that is blocked also. Now, in order to do a heart bypass, I don't know if you realize this or know this, and if you do, fine. I don't want to feel like I'm treating you like you're stupid. I know all this because my dad said this stuff. They take veins out of your legs, and they graft them to your heart or for blood flow to get around those clogged ones and to, start getting the blood flow back. I have varicose veins. I started getting varicose veins about 15, 16 years ago. And my first doctor said, oh, it's just from you having fibromyalgia. Finally was diagnosed just a couple years ago with varicose veins. If you have varicose veins, they can't use them to graft it to your heart, okay? Now, another procedure they do is they can put stents in, but mine are so blocked they really don't want to do stents. Stents aren't going to work well. Stents, are little wire mesh things that open up in your arteries. I also have small veins. I've always known I've had small veins. It runs in my dad's family. They've all had small veins. He looked at my legs. He had me drop my pants and look at my thighs, which I didn't think I had them in there. I do. He also can take your vein that's right there, that main vein that runs down your arm there from your wrist. So he tested that. So what they need to do this week is they need to do a lot of ultrasounds on my legs, my arm, and your arteries in your neck, which are called your carotid arteries. Because if my heart's clogged up, most likely my carotid arteries are clogged up. Those can break off and give you mini strokes and actually a stroke. My dad had those cleaned out too. Like I said, I have a horrendous family history of heart disease. So this week, hopefully they get it all scheduled so I can go and see if I have any veins that can be used to have for quadruple bypass. So hopefully I do, because I have a lot of varicose veins. If they can, he said, even if they get a piece of a vein, they will do as many bypasses as they can. If they can't do any bypasses, they can put stents in, but it's really not a good option, because stents, with 100% and 295% blocked, and then the one in the back blocked, and then the part of the heart that's damaged from the heart attack, the stents wouldn't last very long. With a heart bypass, they give you about 15 years to live. With stents, you have to get them checked all the time. They can close up. You can have another heart attack. And I didn't know this, but being a diabetic people don't have the same symptoms as a normal person having a heart attack will. It usually sneaks up on you. You don't realize you're having a heart attack, and you just have it and you die. I kind of thought when I was having a heart attack, I thought I'm having a heart attack. I looked it up and I'm like, yep, I'm having a heart attack. I thought, I don't want to worry my mom. I'm just going to go with it. Which was wrong, I know. Please don't get on me. So, I have an appointment with the same surgeon next Monday. He's going to tell me what all my ultrasounds read. So, I'm hoping and praying that I have some veins somewhere in my legs that can give me full quadruple bypass. They give you the option, he said, by law. When my dad had it, they didn't give him the option that I could have stents put in or have bypass. I know, but if I have stents in, say, in 15 years, or even if they last that long, I'm going to have open heart surgery. I'm going to be older. I'm 46 right now. I'll be 47 this Saturday. So I need open heart surgery. You know, your sternum's cracked open. You know, I know all this. It's going to be a long, hard road. And he said, you're going to be in pain. You're going to suffer. Okay, I know this. I just now is getting the varicose. I wish they would have helped me take care of my varicose veins. I just hope I have good enough veins in my legs that they can do the quadruple bypass. So that's where I've been. That's where I'm at. That's why I'm not doing videos. Did get my hair cut. It looks better when it's fixed, a little better. The biggest thing was I had to stop babysitting my niece and nephew, my great niece and nephew. That was really hard because I've been having chest pains when I pick them up. I mean, I've been putting on a lot of other more medication. Like, I have nitroglycerin tablets to take in case I have chest pains, but I also have a extended release nitroglycerin that I take every day to keep the chest pains away. I have shortness of breath. Sorry, I had to get my hand. You can see there, that's where I had, well, how did I do it? I had my IV there. They blew a vein. I have small veins, and they roll. It's a big surprise. And then there, they take blood. Anyway, so that's what's going on with me, and I just feel so bad because the twins had to go to daycare, but because I pick them up and I live in a travel trailer that's 26 feet long. Okay, I travel from my chair to the bathroom to get ready for bed, back to the chair to turn off the light that's next to it, to my bed, which is right there behind me. I get out of breath. I have pains. So, I always knew this was coming. I always knew I'd probably have a heart attack or open heart surgery. Of course, now they're like saying, well, you're so young. I'm like, oh, before everything I had, it was like, you're over 40, you're old. I'm like, oh, yeah. Well, my dad had it at 32, a massive heart attack, so. We'll see what happens. Just give me an update. You might not care. Who cares, you know? That's why I am. That's why I haven't been on, I haven't been on Barbie and Ken's auction. Something's buzzing in here. I have ladybugs. Anyway, just because I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. I've been exhausted for years. I've tried to tell these people, these doctors, they wouldn't listen. I've always been honest with them about my horrendous family heart disease. I've always been honest with that. I know I have high cholesterol. I've always had high cholesterol. I've always told them I have a resting heart rate of about 100. They just, okay, blah, blah, and went on. They never would, some doctors just don't listen to you. Luckily, the surgeon I had today, he's very kind and very much listened. So, hopefully I get all that done, and then next Monday I'll travel to St. Louis, which is about 2 hours away. But my hair was looking gray, but it's not gray, it's the light. Oh, well, who cares if it is? It looks like I've got gray and then red. I don't know. That's where I've been, so I'm really not selling anything. My house is a mess. I really just have to sit here in this chair and take it easy. And I'm trying to get my blood sugar low, and whatever. With the stents, they just put them through. They'd go back through my arm and put the stents in my heart. Of course, open heart surgery, they cut your sternum, your breast, your ribs open and sternum open, and put you on a heart and lung machine while they're holding your heart. So that's where I've been. In case anybody's been wondering, I have lots of jewelry to sell, and I'm thinking about just putting it in a box and kind of having an auction. I'll talk to you guys soon, and I'll give you an update if you like one. I mean, I didn't know whether to do this. I don't want to seem like I'm whining or complaining or wanting sympathy, or I'm just trying to explain where I've been and why my channel's been kind of silent lately. But I'll talk to you guys later, and I appreciate you. And take care of yourself. You never know, guys. 46, had a heart attack. What can you say? But, see you later. Bye.